Listen up, nature keepers. I am the Lorax. I speak for the trees. And by the time we're through, you'll be speaking for nature too. Let's get buzzing, because today we're going to a bee farm, also known as an apiary. You heard me. This is where the honey is made. Did you know that honeybees live in hives? And do you know who runs the hive? It's the queen bee. All bow to the queen. Not only is she the boss, but she also lays up to 2,500 eggs in one day. Wow. Another fun fact is that bees love to dance. When a worker bee wants to tell the other bees where the good flowers are, she does a waggle dance. Can you waggle like that? Bees are essential to people and our planet, but they are being hurt by things like pesticides, habitat loss, and pollution. They need our protection. Thankfully, more and more people are caring for our precious bees.
My name is Eli, and I'm the beekeeper.
Tell us more about what you do, Eli.
The job of a beekeeper is to keep the bees happy. I provide the bees with a home, and in exchange, they fill the home with honey and they fill the home with bees. As a beekeeper, sometimes I have to go into the hives and disturb the bees, so I wear a bee suit so that I can do my work without worrying about the bees stinging me. The suit covers my whole body, and it comes with a hood with a screen, and I can zip it up and seal myself inside the suit so that I'm completely protected from the bees. A beehive is made up of a queen, all of her daughters, who are the worker bees, and a handful of drones, which would be her sons. So when a worker bee is born, she becomes a nurse bee. When they get a little older, they graduate to be housekeeping bees, which are responsible for collecting the honey, defending the hive, and building what's called bee bread. And when those bees graduate, they become forager bees, which means that they fly out of the hive and they go and they visit flowers, even 5 miles away from the hive, to find what they need to find. Oh, here's a drone. That's a drone bee. And you can tell the drone bees, they don't have stingers and they have really big eyes because they have to be really good at seeing the queen when she's flying. So right here is the queen bee, and you can see that actually her head and her midsection are the same as the other bees, but her tail is twice or maybe even 3 times bigger than the other ones. And that's because she has the ability to lay eggs. And often they lay more than their own body weight in eggs a day, which means that they're being constantly fed and tended to by the other bees. And as you can see here, these bees are actually facing her, and they're grooming her, and they're feeding her, and they're making sure that she's healthy and happy. Bees eat pollen, which comes from flowers, and nectar, which also comes from flowers. And on their bodies, they have hair. As they land on the flower, pollen granules will stick to their hair. And so as they fly from flower to flower, they're moving pollen from flower to flower, which achieves what we call pollination, which is necessary for plants to reproduce viable seeds or fruits or vegetables. The process of making honey is very beautiful. The nectar in the flowers is mostly water with sugar mixed into it. As the bees collect it, they drink it into their stomach, and they have a special stomach that's called their honey stomach. And they use that to transport 1 drop of nectar back to the hive. When they get back to the hive, another bee will drink it up into her stomach, and they'll go on passing that drip of nectar from bee to bee. The last bee will deposit that nectar into a cell inside the hive. The bees will use their wings to blow air across the top of the nectar and dry the water out of the nectar, which is why honey is so thick and sticky. So this is a good frame to see because you can see the fresh nectar in these cells, but this is the capped honey. When I do a harvest, what I'll do is I'll take the bees off the frames, and you cut off the top layer of wax, and then the machine spins them around and slings the honey off the frames, and then we can pour that into jars. Honey is really special because what you're getting to do is taste thousands and thousands of flowers with every bite. I don't think we should be scared of bees. We should be very respectful of bees because bees are doing their work and they don't want to be bothered. Bees sting for really only 2 reasons. One is by mistake. So that means you step on a bee and it stings you. The other reason why they might sting is because they feel protective of their hive. Their hive is all they have, and so they'll pretty much do anything to protect themselves. So if by mistake we bump into a hive, or there's a hive in a tree that's been disturbed, the bees might want to sting. So we just want to be aware that when we're around bees, that we're very respectful and we don't disturb them.
Thanks, Eli. You heard him, Nature Keepers. Bees are our friends. They help us in so many ways, and there are a lot of safe ways we can help them too. You can help the bees by planting gardens, teaching others about bees, and supporting your local beekeeper by eating honey. That's the fun part. All right, now you know all about the bee farm, and since you've been such a good listener, I'm giving you a trophy. You can collect all my trophies by learning about other amazing places and animals you can help protect. Keep on caring, Nature Keepers. I'm counting on you.
Gather round, kids. It's time to explore. I'm the Cat in the Hat with a bug quiz galore. How much do you know about critters so small? Let's find out together. Can you name them all? Question 1. Which insects make honey and keep their hive clean? They protect it from danger and care for their queen. A. Termites. B. Ladybugs. C. Bees. D. Royal bugs. What could it be? C. Bees. We can grow lots of flowers with help from the bees. They store dust from each flower in the back of their knees. Can you buzz like a bee? Well, let me hear it. Buzz! Bzzz. Very good. Ooh, that's incredible. Question 2. Which bug's not an insect? Can you guess? Think real hard and do your best. A. Spider. B. Butterfly. C. Ant. Or D. Ladybug. Did you figure it out yet? A. A spider. Spiders aren't insects. This news couldn't wait. Instead of 6 legs, every spider has 8. Question 3. Which bugs are so strong they can lift things that weigh up to 10 times their weight, and they do it all day? A. Flies. B. Ants. C. Stick bugs. Or D. Mighty bugs. There's not much time left. B. Ants. If you were as strong as an ant, you would see you could lift up 10 cats in tall hats easily. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have canceled my gym membership. Question 4. Which bug rubs its hands to keep them clean with the fastest wings you've ever seen? A. Fly. B. Moth. C. Centipede. Or D. Soap bug. A fly! Here's a fact about flies that is kind of icky. They can walk upside down since their feet are so sticky. Whoa, whoa, whoa! I think I'm starting to see why flies enjoy this. Woohoo! Question 5. Caterpillars do something you might find quite strange. They turn into what in a magical change? A. Dragonflies. B. Unicorns. C. Gnats. Or D. Butterflies. I think you know this. D. Butterflies. Here's a quick fact I thought was quite neat. Butterflies can taste food with their feet. I wonder, would it be so grand to taste my pizza with just my hand? Would they say delicious with wiggly delight? Or would they say, this just doesn't feel right? Question 6. On warm summer evenings, you may see the light of what little bug flashing off on in the night? A. Firefly. B. Cicada. C. Flashlight bug. Or D. Ladybug. Time's almost up. A. A firefly. Fireflies are like flashlights that float in the sky. If you want to catch them, it's all right to try. Use a jar with a lid. Watch them glimmer and glow. Then open the jar up and let them all go. Count up your answers, every last one. In my way of scoring, we'll have lots of fun. 1 right or 2? Are you a bugaboo? 3 or 4, good grub is your score. 5 or 6, I'm enthusiastic. You're firefly-tastic. All day and all night, on the ground, in the air, insects are moving around everywhere. The butterfly, ladybug, and the bee make everything better for you and for me.
Hello there, Nature Keepers. I am the Lorax. I speak for the trees, and by the time we're through, you'll be speaking for nature too. Today, we're staying cool with penguins. Welcome to Antarctica. We are on an iceberg with a lively colony of wild penguins. While penguins are birds, did you know they can't fly? Instead, they swim. Whoosh! Oh, they sure go fast. On land, they waddle, slide, and scoot around. They are a little bit more graceful in the water, don't you think? There are 18 types of penguins, and guess what? They all live in the southern half of the world. That's the bottom half. Not all penguins live in the snow. They can be found in South America, like these chinstrap penguins. New Zealand, like these yellow-eyed penguins. Oh, they look like they got goggles on. And even Africa, like these African penguins. The biggest penguin is the emperor penguin, who stands tall at 4 feet. The smallest is the little blue penguin, who's only about as tall as your ruler. That's a foot. The fastest bird swimmer is the gentoo penguin. And the best rockhopper is the rockhopper penguin, of course. The rockhopper also has the best hairstyle. That's not scientific, that's just my opinion. Penguins eat small sea creatures like krill, squid, and fish. They don't have teeth, but instead they have spikes on their tongues to help them catch dinner. You ever have spikes on your tongue? I hope not. When it gets really cold in Antarctica, emperor penguins huddle together for warmth. Ah, nice and toasty. Hey, stepped on my foot. Think of it as a life-saving hug. Penguins lay eggs like any other bird. After they hatch, Mom and Dad penguins let their babies ride on their feet to stay warm. They like to raise their young in giant groups called colonies. They're so fluffy. One of the largest colonies is home to about 1 million penguins. Now that's a penguin party. But many of the penguins' icy habitats are at risk. If the ice melts away, where will the penguins play? Come on, Nature Keepers. They need our help. Thankfully, lots of people are helping the penguins and teaching others how to protect them. Let's visit the San Diego Zoo, where we can see penguins and learn more about them.
Hi, Lorax.
Hello!
My name is Debbie Denton, and I am a senior wildlife care specialist.
Can you tell us about the penguins you have?
Well, Lorax, we have African penguins here at the San Diego Zoo. A lot of people don't really think of penguins when they think of Africa. You're thinking about elephants or lions, but there are penguins that do live in Africa.
What's it like being a wildlife care specialist?
Taking care of penguins here at the zoo, it's a lot of cleaning. They poop every 8 minutes or so.
8 minutes? Wow.
So a lot of our morning is spent in the habitat with a fire hose.
You must really love those penguins.
I just love them because they're feisty little animals. They have a lot of personality, they're very curious, and they're just fun to watch. They're always doing something to make us laugh.
Penguins are birds, so why can't they fly?
Penguins can't fly because they're built for life at sea. So you're either going to be able to swim really well or you're going to be able to fly really well. And penguins swim really well. Their feathers trap air next to their skin, and that helps keep them up on top of the water.
I love how they're white and black. Is there a reason why they are these colors?
It's a form of camouflage. If you're in the water and you look up, you're not going to be able to see them because they're going to blend in with the sky above. And when you're looking down at a penguin in the water, their black back is going to blend in with the dark sea below.
Wow, that's cool. They must be good at hide and seek. And what about those babies? Why are they so fluffy?
Babies are fluffy so they can keep themselves warm when both parents are gone to find their next meal. Once the chicks get to be about 8 months old, they grow in their waterproof feathers and they leave the nest. The penguins spend most of their life in the ocean, and 100% of their diet comes from the ocean. So we feed them fish here. Hey guys. 2 different types of fish, and they get to eat as much as they want.
So that's why they poop so much. You sure look after them.
African penguins are very endangered, and that's scary to someone who loves African penguins. They're challenged by not being able to find food, the changing ocean temperatures, taking their food further away. They're challenged by oil spills in the area. But we're very proud at the zoo to be able to go to Africa and help with the rescue and rehabilitation of some of these birds.
Thanks for telling me all about the penguins. Bye, Debbie.
Thanks, Lorax. It was nice meeting you today.
Oh, wait. Here are some of the ways you can help keep penguins and other animals that live in icy cold places safe. Use less plastic, and always put used plastic in the recycling bin so it doesn't end up in the ocean. You can write letters or draw pictures asking companies to protect marine habitats. And you can learn more about penguins and other animals by reading books or visiting your local zoo. Thanks for joining me on our penguin adventure. I'm giving you a Truffle Trophy. You can collect all of my trophies by learning about other amazing animals and places you can help protect. Keep on caring, Nature Keepers.